Speaker is Toastmaster Prabhat Ranavane. Toastmaster Prabhat Ranavane. Rebuttal Speaker, Toastmaster Philip Nosisi. Toastmaster Philip Nosisi. Summary Speaker, Toastmaster Dhyan Bidappa. Toastmaster Dhyan Bidappa. Team Opposition is Kanoo Toastmasters Club. Constructive Speaker, Toastmaster Manoj Nair. Toastmaster Manoj Nair. Rebuttal Speaker, Toastmaster Peter Craster. Toastmaster Peter Craster. Summary Speaker, Toastmaster Sandhya Subramanian. Sandhya Subramanian. TGIS is a sequence. I think they woke up in sequence anyway. Sorry. So can I request the constructive speaker for team proposition to take the position on stage? Please join me by welcoming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We firmly believe that wealth should be distributed equally among everyone. What's wealth? Wealth, as per definition, is sum of the total of your assets minus liabilities. It can be applicable to an individual or corporation or even a country. And we will substantiate our argument with three undeniable points. Number one, equal distribution of wealth can create faster economic growth. The Newsweek 2015 shows that 50% of global assets controlled by 1% of global population. And in another research, Economics 2015 shows that if richer become richer, the economic growth will be slower. So put together, we believe that equal distribution of wealth can create faster economic growth. Point number two, equal distribution of wealth can empower the society in large. It will reduce the grip the rich community today have over the others. So everyone will have their own freedom. Third, we believe that equal distribution of opportunities will create better opportunities and more informed and a happier society. Today's world, the wars, robberies, everything is for greed of money and to acquire the wealth. So ladies and gentlemen, today, here we affirm that the wealth should be distributed equally among everyone, and that can create a happier, wealthier, and better informed society. Thank you.
Request the constructive speaker from team opposition to take the stage, please.
Wealth should be equally distributed amongst everyone. And then what? What is the objective? World peace? Eradication of poverty? More unity in the world? To quote Toastmaster Philip again, rubbish. Calculate the total worth in the world today, $223 trillion. And calculate the total population, approximately 7 billion. Divide that equally and you get around 35,000 US dollars deposited into everybody's bank accounts equally. It will remain equal for lesser time than it will take our judges to evaluate our speeches. Those who do not know how to handle wealth or do not understand its concept will piss it off in seconds, and this motion will fail then and there. That is why 70% of lottery winners go bankrupt sooner than later. This has been quoted by a recent study in Fortune magazine. What are you going to do when equality shifts again then? Start all over again? That is financially and economically impossible. Let's say you do come up with some utopian idea to have money deposited into our accounts real time. What is the motivation for anyone to work after that? Or do anything at all for that matter? Someone who has been sloughing away all their life will suddenly have the same standard of living as you would. Why would you move a finger after that? You would rather sit back and have money deposited into your accounts just like he does. We will end up being a world of sloths. If your argument to that is going to be that people do not work for money, again, rubbish. Almost every success story we look up to these days is a rags to riches one. And even in the remote chance that it is not, admit it, we prefer to listen to rags to riches stories. What does that mean? That the rags are the primary driving force to success. Distributing wealth equally into everyone's accounts is like settling today's debate, declaring all 16 teams as winners. Would you all have taken the effort on this lovely Friday evening to come and watch if that was on the agenda? If our opponents are going to say yes to that, then they shouldn't even bother with any arguments today. Because they are here to win, which means they are here to create so much inequality between our two teams that you won't have a shadow of doubt to who the victor is. The wealth being referred to in this case are those trophies lying there. I'd say with that logic alone, we should be declared winners because we completely and truly support inequality. Thank you.
Speaker from Team Opposition on stage.
Makes me funny in a rich man's world. Aha. Oh, sorry, I'm in a debate competition. Fellow Toastmasters, my wealthy, worthy opponents, a very warm, not good afternoon, it's good evening, or maybe good night, I don't know. My worthy opponent spoke very well, but I disagree with what my worthy opponent said. He said that he spoke on wealth being distributed in three places equal, that is, individual, corporation, and country. First of all, wealth should not be equally distributed, it should be equitably distributed. If you distribute wealth within an individual, it's not correct. All of us cannot become CEOs of a company. There are executives, there are managers, there is a CEO. So based on the skill and the caliber, income or wealth is distributed. There is a great saying, give a man a fish, you will feed him for one day. Teach him how to fish, you will feed him for a lifetime. Just as all of us cannot become DTMs immediately, we need to go for 40 odd project speeches, then we become distinguished Toastmaster. Same way, income or wealth cannot be distributed equally. Country, if income is distributed equally in a country, it will lead to civil wars. Also, what about there will be no money for maintaining infrastructure or roads? My worthy opponent spoke on faster economic growth. How does that happen? When you overvalue the wealth we possess, you undervalue the ability to create wealth. Lots of supply of anything, lots of supply of income leads to no value for that wealth. That leads to the value falling down, leads to inflation and deflation within an economy. And also my worthy opponent spoke on freedom. It brings more freedom. There is no freedom. My worthy opponent also spoke on robberies and greed of money. My worthy opponent is to come out from the Robin Hood story. We are no longer in a Robin Hood story taking from the rich and giving it to the poor. It's all in books and not meant to be discussed in even a debate competition. We need to understand one thing. Robin Hood is out. But if you look at socialist countries where wealth is distributed equally, there is no innovation, there is no prosperity. But if you look at the capitalist countries, there is where if you look at capitalist countries, you find more of innovation taking place. With this, I would like to conclude saying that all wealth should be distributed not equally but equitably. Over to you, Madhuri.
speaker from Team Proposition on stage.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We believe that wealth should be distributed equally. And I listened with big surprise at the arguments put forward by my worthy opponents. The first argument they put forward is, in my view, they misunderstood our topic for debate. It's about equal distribution of wealth, not equitable. When you bring in equitability into this topic, you're talking about justice. In a way, they've taken the position that they agree that wealth should be made equally available to everyone. They've also given another example where they're likened the equal distribution of wealth to what has happened in communist, socialist countries, and how capitalism is more or less a better alternative. I think they've forgotten the Scandinavian countries, countries like the Netherlands, where wealth is equitably distributed in such a way that the larger part of the society have access to the resources in their country in such a way that they can contribute. And as a result of that, you find the biggest level of innovation coming from these countries like the Netherlands, Sweden, and they have contributed enormously to overall economic growth in the world, which in any case is the point we have made. When you distribute wealth equally, you help the economy to grow. They've also mentioned the point that when you distribute wealth equally, people can become lazy. I don't know where they got that from, because in a country like the Netherlands, or Sweden, or Norway, the people there are not lazy. In fact, they're the hardest working people that we can talk about. Wealth does not equate money. They've alluded to the fact that wealth is money. No, my friends. Wealth, in our view, is the asset you have minus your liabilities. And when you distribute wealth equally, you give people a fair chance to make a difference in the society. So it's our view that equal distribution of wealth is very important.
Opposition to take a position on stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and our very wealthy, worthy opponents. My opening speaker gave a very well-researched and lucid analysis on the topic. His opener, a rhetorical question. Then what? Questioned the very basis of this topic. Wealth should be equally distributed among everyone. He stood tall in adding substantiality to his argument and our stance that will distribution of wealth eradicate all the problems that we have in the world today? Number two, someone who is suddenly in possession of that wealth, will he know how to handle that wealth? Number three, the quote from the Fortune magazine that stated that 70% of lottery winners end up becoming bankrupt. Number four, this wealth is available to us now, but what next? How do we proceed further? Number five, we all love a good rags to riches story. The rags provides us with that impetus to go forward, to push further. What will motivate us now? Our rebuttal speaker was quick to quash all the points raised by our worthy opponents. He spotted accurately the fallacies in the opposing team's argument in distributing that wealth equally from an individual to a company to a nation. A very relevant quote cited by the rebuttal speaker further consolidates the argument that giving wealth to someone will only help him for that period, but will it empower him to manage his future, the rest of his lifetime? The economics of supply and demand will simply undervalue the wealth when it is available today in easy access of everyone. And what then happens in an organization? Where is the division of labor across the hierarchy of the organization? Well, everyone present here today, we as a team have done our preparation. We have clearly presented our facts, proposed our arguments, put out any myths, predicated and prescribed our motion. And ladies and gentlemen, that to all you people here of varying degrees and varying bank balances and varying Toastmaster milestones, stand with us today in strong refutal of the motion. Wealth should not be equally distributed among everyone. Thank you.
Good evening again, dear friends. My team stood up here today to prove to you that wealth should be equally distributed amongst everyone. And we did so with three compelling, undeniable arguments. Number one, wealth, which we define as assets minus liabilities, or net assets, creates economic growth, or bolsters economic growth. And we quoted research from eminent organizations such as The Economist and Newsweek to show how the rich becoming richer actually slows down the economy, thereby dampening innovation and advancement. Number two, we pointed out that a more equal distribution of wealth and equal distribution could empower the masses and give people the freedom to choose how they want to live their lives. And number three, we summed up by saying that together this improves the quality of life of our society by creating more informed, happier, healthier people, countries, or the world. Our worthy opponents aim to come back with their own arguments, but we refuted those admirably. A, we pointed out that equitable is in a way of saying equal. B, we pointed out that wealth does not equate money. It's all the assets that we can bring to bear. C, we showed how, contrary to the argument that equal distribution could disincentivize work ethic and effort, countries such as the Scandinavian nations, Western Europe, are actually amongst the highest work rates and are a true testament to how a more equal society can spur innovation, growth, and happiness. So, my friends, having summed up these points in this manner, I put it out to you, my dear Toastmasters, who so equitably share your knowledge amongst all of us every day in meetings. Shouldn't we work towards a more equal society and a happier society? Yes, wealth should be equally distributed amongst everyone. Thank you.